Have you ever wondered how powerful nature can be? It's a force that commands respect, displaying its might in ways that both awe and terrify. It's this unseen power that we're about to delve into, a journey into the heart of natural disasters. From the shattering tremors of earthquakes to the destructive torrents of tsunamis, from the fierce winds of hurricanes to the raging inferno of wildfires, each disaster unveils a facet of nature's formidable strength. But it's not just about the spectacle of destruction. By understanding these phenomena, we gain insights into the complex mechanisms that drive our planet. We learn about our vulnerabilities and how we can better prepare for nature's wrath. We see the resilience of life amidst devastation and the human spirit that refuses to be quelled. Now journey with us as we explore some of the most devastating natural disasters of the 21st century. Imagine a wall of water as high as a two-story building rushing towards you at the speed of a jet plane. That is what happened on the fateful morning of December 26, 2004, when the Indian Ocean unleashed one of the deadliest tsunamis in history. This cataclysmic event was triggered by a massive undersea earthquake off the coast of Sumatra in Indonesia. The earthquake, measuring a staggering 9.1 on the Richter scale, released energy equivalent to 23,000 Hiroshima-type atomic bombs. The tsunami, with waves reaching heights of 30 meters, wreaked devastation across 14 countries. It traveled at high speeds across the Indian Ocean, reaching as far as the eastern coast of Africa. The impact on human life and the environment was catastrophic. An estimated 230,000 to 280,000 lives were lost, millions were displaced, and countless communities were devastated. Economically, the tsunami caused an estimated $10 billion of damages, affecting sectors from tourism to fishing, and disrupting livelihoods across the region. The psychological trauma endured by survivors was immense. The response to the disaster was a global effort. Governments, international organizations, and individuals rallied to provide aid, from search and rescue missions to long-term recovery and rebuilding initiatives. However, the scale of the disaster posed significant challenges, from logistical hurdles to the sheer scale of the devastation. In the aftermath, lessons were learned about the need for improved early warning systems and disaster preparedness. The environmental consequences were severe, with massive habitat destruction and pollution. Efforts were made to restore and mitigate environmental damage, highlighting the importance of environmental conservation in disaster risk reduction. The Indian Ocean tsunami also underscored the global nature of disaster risk. It highlighted the need for collective action to address underlying vulnerabilities, from climate change to socioeconomic disparities, that contribute to the increasing frequency and severity of such disasters. The Indian Ocean tsunami was a stark reminder of nature's awesome power. Picture the wind howling at over 175 miles per hour, destroying everything in its path. Hurricane Katrina, one of the most destructive storms in U.S. history, burst onto the scene in late August 2005. Born in the warm waters of the Atlantic, this Atlantic hurricane was a catastrophic force of nature. Its power was undeniably immense, reaching a Category 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale at its peak, with winds of over 175 miles per hour. Its geographical impact was vast, spreading across the Gulf Coast of the United States. The destruction was unparalleled, leaving in its wake a trail of devastation, flooding cities and wiping out entire communities. The human toll was heart-wrenching. Over 1,000 lives were lost and countless more were injured or displaced. Lives were changed in an instant, with personal stories of loss and survival painting a stark picture of the disaster's impact. The economic and social consequences were staggering. Billions of dollars in infrastructure were lost, livelihoods were destroyed, and the cost of recovery was astronomical. The storm disrupted daily life, leaving psychological scars and creating challenges in accessing basic needs and services. Despite the chaos, the response and recovery efforts were commendable. Emergency responders, government agencies, and humanitarian organizations sprung into action, providing aid and support, despite the overwhelming challenges. Hurricane Katrina was a stark lesson in disaster preparedness, or lack thereof, underscoring the importance of early warning systems and emergency response mechanisms. It highlighted the need for resilience-building measures, community preparedness, and policies to mitigate the impacts of future disasters. The environmental consequences were significant, with habitat destruction, pollution, and ecosystem disruption. The long-term ecological consequences are still being felt, and efforts to restore and mitigate environmental damage are ongoing. Placed within the broader global context, Hurricane Katrina was a stark reminder of the increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters. It underscored the role of climate change, urbanization, and socioeconomic disparities in exacerbating these disasters, and the urgent need for collective action to address underlying vulnerabilities. Hurricane Katrina was a wake-up call for the world about the reality of climate change. Imagine the ground beneath you shaking so violently that it triggers a deadly tsunami. On March 11, 2011, the northeastern coast of Japan experienced just that, the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, a calamitous duo that etched a permanent scar in the annals of natural disasters. The Tohoku earthquake, a staggering undersea megathrust earthquake, was one of the most powerful in recorded history. The intensity of the quake, combined with its shallow depth, triggered a massive tsunami, propelling waves reaching up to 40 meters high. The scale of this disaster was unprecedented, impacting an extensive geographical area, causing substantial damage to property, infrastructure, and the environment. The human toll was devastating. Nearly 16,000 lives were lost, thousands were injured, and millions were displaced. The economic and social impact was equally severe. The disaster cost Japan around $360 billion, making it the most expensive natural disaster in history. Communities were uprooted, and the psychological trauma lingered long after the initial shock. In the wake of the disaster, emergency responders, government agencies, and humanitarian organizations mobilized swiftly. Despite the logistical challenges, they managed to provide aid and support to affected populations. The reconstruction and recovery process, however, was a long road fraught with obstacles. The Tohoku disaster served as a harsh lesson in preparedness and resilience. It highlighted the need for improved early warning systems and emergency response mechanisms. Moreover, it underscored the importance of community preparedness and policies to mitigate the impacts of future disasters. The environmental consequences were severe. The tsunami led to widespread pollution, including a nuclear crisis at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, causing long-term ecological disruption. Efforts to restore and mitigate environmental damage are still ongoing. The Tohoku disaster is a stark reminder of the broader global challenges we face. Urbanization, socioeconomic disparities, and climate change all contribute to the increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters. It underscores the need for collective action to address underlying vulnerabilities. The Tohoku disaster was a tragic reminder of nature's unpredictability. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, but also a warning of the power that nature holds, and the necessity of preparedness in the face of such unpredictable forces. Now, think of a storm so powerful, it leaves an entire island without power, and fires so intense they turn the sky red. Hurricane Maria, a Category 5 monster, ripped through the Caribbean in September 2017, with Puerto Rico bearing the brunt of its fury. The winds, reaching speeds of 175 miles per hour, tore apart homes, wiped out power grids, and left the island in darkness. The human toll was devastating, with thousands losing their lives, either directly due to the storm or in its aftermath due to the lack of essential services. The economic impact was colossal, with billions required for recovery and reconstruction, disrupting lives and livelihoods for years. 2 years later, halfway across the globe, Australia faced its own natural disaster nightmare. The bushfires of 2019 and 2020, fueled by severe drought and record-breaking temperatures, ravaged the continent for months. The scale of these fires was staggering, burning an area larger than Portugal and causing the loss of over 1 billion animals. The human toll was equally heartbreaking, with 33 lives lost and thousands displaced. The response and recovery efforts for both disasters were Herculean, with local and international agencies working tirelessly to provide aid and support. However, the challenges were immense. In Puerto Rico, restoring power took nearly a year, while in Australia, the recovery of wildlife habitats will take decades. These disasters taught us harsh lessons. The need for robust preparedness, early warning systems, and resilient infrastructure has never been greater. Moreover, the environmental consequences were severe, with significant habitat destruction and ecosystem disruption in both cases. But these disasters also exist within a broader global context. They underscore the stark reality of our changing climate and the increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters. They remind us of the disparities that exist in our societies, where the most vulnerable suffer the most when disaster strikes. These disasters underscore the urgent need for action on climate change and disaster preparedness. So what can we do in the face of such overwhelming power? We can prepare, we can educate, and we can act. These disasters, as terrifying as they are, serve as stark reminders of the importance of disaster preparedness and resilience. It's not about living in fear, but about understanding our world and the forces that shape it. We can learn from past events, from the Indian Ocean tsunami to the Australian bushfires, to better equip ourselves for the future. We can strive to understand the causes and consequences of such events, the human toll, and the long-term impacts on our communities and our planet. And we can take action. We can spread the word about these disasters and their impacts, raising awareness about the very real effects of climate change. We can educate ourselves and others, fostering a culture of preparedness and resilience. Remember, knowledge is power. So spread the word about these disasters and their impacts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to help raise awareness. Together we can make a difference.